everybody, welcome back to Poker Samadhi. I'm Danielle Striker. I'm the chief guru and co-founder of Poker Samadhi. Today's January 31st. It's Wednesday. I wanted to do a review of a hand that was played yesterday. I don't know if you guys all saw Hustler Casino. I watch that every now and then, and yesterday was really, they were in the rare form. I want to provide some poker and life wisdom for you players that run into this kind of situation where you might be playing tight aggressive as a tag would, and you run into some maniac lag tard, like crazy aggro degen, which in this case is Ludacris. So Ludacris is going to be the Asian guy in this hand. He's in the small blind, and he's playing against a tight aggressive that has about 100,000 in cash behind. It's a super high roller. It's not a super high roller game. It's just a high roller game. It's a 25-50 game, so it's a big game. And the guy GT wakes up with aces. So hopefully you can see my screen, and we'll go through this, and you'll just see what happens. I also sped it up to about 1.25 so we can move through the hand. So this is the ending of the last hand. And one of the things I want to say before we get into this is, you know, poker is a game of luck and skill. And, you know, some people want to call it gambling. Look, I think poker 70% psychology, 20% math, 10% magic, or also terror, however you want to look at it. So anyway, here comes the hand. Let me see if I can make this screen a hair bigger here. I don't think I can, but anyway, let me move it down so you can see what's happening. So here you can see Mike X has Jack 3. I'm going to make this a little lower. And what happens is GT in the purple shirt says, I want to raise it up. And he has aces. So he has about 128,000 on the table. He raises it to 1,000. Francisco, to his direct left, has tens. He calls 975. Mike X calls, overcalls 950. He's under the gun. Ludacris, this Asian guy here getting massaged, decides to get froggy and decides to 3-bet 6,000. By the way, out of position in the small blind. Now you can see, and you know, Ludacris is doing what Ludacris does. So because he's a aggro maniac, he raises to 6,000. And GT, the guy in purple here who's sitting like this, is thinking now, how do I maximize here and get the most out of this hand? He's got aces, right? So his expected value is really good. And he's also trying to figure out how to get heads up because he's got 3 other players in this hand. So he thinks and thinks, and then he decides he's going to raise. So he raises to 19,000 here, which is a really good raise. I mean, it's even more than 3x. He's basically saying, look, I have a good hand, and we're going to be playing this hand big. So Ludacris has 60,225 behind. He has 8-6 of hearts. You can see that GT has a 78% win possibility, and Ludacris has a 22%, right, win percentage. So Ludacris thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks, keeps thinking, and he basically decides he's going to call. And so a lot of people are trying to figure out, like, why is he even thinking about this? Most people just fold. But he has a strategy for this hand. And look, we could sit here and hypothesize all day long about what his strategy is, right? People say, oh, he's not playing great. He's just a degenerate. You know, I would say that he's a loose aggressive. He feels like, you know, with 8-6, if he hits hearts, he knows GT is a tag, so he's playing, you know, top of range. He knows he's playing a big pair. He's thinking, man, if I hit 8s, I hit 6s, I hit 8-6, 2 pair, I hit hearts, I hit a flush. I'm probably going to be good here. So he continues thinking while he's getting massaged. He's thinking and blinking, and he decides to call. So he calls the 13,000, and so now the pot is 40,175, and the flop goes king 8-8, and he insta-checks. At which point, you can see that GT is thinking. He's really processing the information. You can tell by his blink rate even that he's like cognitively really on overload here. And he's trying to figure out why he called a $19,000 bet out of the small blind. And now the pot's 40,000, and the stack to pot ratio is 1 because Ludacris has 47,000 left. So he's trying to figure out, how do I get all of his stack in this hand? Because he clearly is not putting him on an 8. The only hand you could put him on is quad 8s or pocket kings. Maybe you could, right? And maybe that's why he was so slow in thinking. So anyway, he leads out and bets 15,000.
Hold your horses, R.O. You'll understand.
Yeah. So Nick Vertucci's saying, hold your horses, you'll understand later. Anyway, Ludacris calls. The Jack of Diamonds comes off, and he just checks. Of course, Ludacris is calling because he's got a monster. He now knows he's got GT in this hand. So there's 70,000 in the pot. The weird thing is GT checks. Now, I think maybe he's checking because he's thinking, if he has an 8, pocket 8s or pocket kings, I'm bad, but I'm going to have to call this off on the river no matter what. He's going to be indifferent. So he checks the turn. I'm not sure why he did that. I mean, you might as well bet it if you're going to bet it. Ludacris goes all in for 32,225 on the river. And then you'll see GT with his aces. Says he has to call. He calls. He flips over his aces. He gets the bad news. At which point he tilts. He goes right, and Ludacris even says, I didn't put him on aces.
How much is it? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate this.
No one cares right now.
So now he's pissed. GT, obviously. Who wouldn't be, right? Your aces got cracked. In a weird hand.
That's brilliant. I enjoyed it.
He goes, it was brilliant. I enjoyed it.
I agree. Yeah,
And-
thank you.
I'm just going to play the commentary because you're not going to believe it.
Play defense for you, Mike, for 20,000. Oh, it's for Nick, because Nick knows I never fold that. I don't want to lose Nick. The glass would have been broken. I didn't give him. Nick takes that free come against him and stand up. How much was it pre-flop? 20,000, 19,000.
Chris played it really well.
Yeah.
Like a genius.
No, I think, when the fucking dealing is going your way, you can do anything.
Yeah, so he says when the fucking dealing's going your way, you can do anything. So, like, he's definitely on tilt. And then, I mean, you can watch this on Hustler, but, he starts to really say that, Ludacris is, cheating. He implies that the dealer is like, a mechanic. He goes through this whole scenario here. I'll just play it for you so you can hear it. And he's like, people are asking him, why is he playing in this game?
Hey, Luis. At the 8 flop.
Can I have a call?
19,000.
Yeah.
It was not 19,000 pre-flop. It was
Yeah,
19
it
pre-flop.
is. 19,000. 19,000.
I thought he was fucking with me. No.
I made it 19,000.
19.
Chris
He
called
called
19,000.
I don't know. Check him really, right now. Check him right now. Seriously. Perfect. From what? I know. Just check. See what's beeping on his fucking body right now. This is
See, he thinks there's something beeping on his body because he thinks that this was a setup.
unbelievable.
800 and call.
How much was he in before he?
1,000 and call. Sorry.
Is that a fly?
I mean,
I'll play with you guys anymore.
he goes, I don't want to play with you guys anymore.
Rigged.
He says it's rigged.
Where is he flying all around?
4 players?
Three.
Or just us 3? Okay. I check.
Guys, I'm not saying anything because I'm letting this play out. I will talk after this is over. We chose not to silence this portion. I will explain later.
So Nick Vertucci just lets the thing go because, he's on a delay. And so he's going to explain later what he thinks happened. But, here's the thing. Frankly, I don't think this was cheating, but let me let you hear the rest of this and then I'll give you my take. I mean, he is just reeling.
Sorry. This is what makes me feel like it's fucking working. Thank you. I can't really, there's no explanation for this fucking shit.
Yeah, like he says, like, I can't believe this. People have asked me not to play. Why are you going there and playing here? Let me see if we can get this up a little faster so you can hear the rest.
Every fucking time I come here, there's a cooler like this. Particularly
He goes, every time I come here, there's an effing cooler like this.
when I have bought in red big. Happens
When I've just rebought for like and topped off for like $130,000.
like instantly right after I buy big.
He says instantly after I buy big, right, for another 100,000, then he gets dealt a big hand, and then this happens. Apparently, this happened to him before. At Hustler, he had pocket kings in another day, and then Nick Airball had pocket fours, and then bam, on the flop, Airball hits a set of fours. So this is what happens, right? People now start tilting. And look, when you play this kind of game with these kind of loose aggros, you're going to run into this crap. And the thing is, like, here's the quote. So I remember I was in a couple games that, you start to think they're fixed. They're not rigged. I don't think this is a rigged game. I think it was just Ludacris playing the way Ludacris does. And, Nick Airball is a complete degen, and he plays hands that are just completely insane. So, and by the way, that Nick Airball pocket fours hand is not insane. I mean, I don't know what the action was on that hand, but on this hand, this was very unconventional. I get it, and I know why he's pissed. So here's the wisdom. Look, a long time ago, I was playing a couple games, and I felt like they were rigged. They weren't, but I just kept losing. And at some point, you really just start to think, man, either I've forgotten how to play poker, or I just really suck, or the cards are going against me, and you want to blame everybody, and you're tilting. So when you're at a game that's bad like this, or you feel that's bad, get up. Just get out of the game. And here's the wisdom. So I think it was Tom McAvoy that said to me, look, if you're in a bad game and you know it, just realize this. You do not have to play in that game with those players. It's a great quote, because this applies to life as well. If you're in a situation where you are at work and you really, really, really hate your job, and you think you're being accused of stuff that you're not, or you're in a bad situation, look, there's always another job. Quit, give your notice, go get another job, because there's another better job right around the corner. So, and I've played in games that are really bad, and I'll tell you what, I was in a game a few weeks ago. It was really sucky. It was just a hard game, and I had no edge. And I said, you know what? I'm picking my chips up because I don't have to play in this game with these players. So I got up and I changed tables, and I literally went to a table that had 4 drunk guys that were from a bachelor party that were totally happy, splashing around, having the time of their life. And I made like $800 in 45 minutes. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. This goes on and on. You can watch us on Hustler. It was on Tuesday night, last night, January 30th. And it was ugly. So that's the wisdom of the day. If you like my analysis, you like the wisdom that I provided, please hit the like button and subscribe to Poker Samadhi. Have a good one. And remember, play your best life.